So today we're going to be taking points that are on the coordinate grid and we're rotating them about the origin. So envision we have this point P, which is at 3, 4, and we're going to rotate it around this circle. So the center of the circle is the origin, and so this is called the radius of your circle, but this radius is going to stay the same. So this point P is going to stay on the edge of the circle because the radius of that circle can't change. So what we're doing first is we're rotating in increments of 90 degrees. So 90 degrees, 180 degrees, 270 degrees. And we're always going to rotate counterclockwise. So if you think about a clock starts at 12, and then 1, 2, 3, and then 6, and then 9. So clockwise is in the direction of a clock. So we're going to go counterclockwise. We're going counterclockwise always with our rotations unless we specify that we are going clockwise. So first we are going to rotate this point by 90 degrees counterclockwise. So if we think about this circle, if we take this point and we're going to rotate it 90 degrees counterclockwise, our point is starting in the first quadrant. It's going to end up somewhere over here in the second quadrant after we've done this rotation. We're going to rotate this point 90 degrees, so it's going to end up here. This is a right angle. So if we were to think about these two pink lines forming this 90-degree angle, those two lines are perpendicular. And when lines are perpendicular, we know that their slopes are opposite reciprocals. So let's think, what would the slope of this line from the origin to point P? The slope would be up 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, over 3, 1, 2, 3. So our slope is 4/3. So if these are going to be perpendicular, then this is going to be the opposite reciprocal. This will have a slope of a -3/4. Which makes sense because we're going 1, 2, 3, -4 to the left, and then we're going to go up 1, 2, 3 spaces to get to our point. So we'll be at -4, 3. So I want you to think, what did we do with point P in order to get this second point? We're going to call this point, first off, we're going to call it P prime. This little tick mark is read as prime, P prime. P would be your original. P prime tells you that we've done one transformation. We have changed it once. So we rotated it 90 degrees. We changed it once, so we're going to put one little tick mark on it, P prime. Back to my original question. If we're thinking about our point 3, 4, what did we do to this point 3, 4 to end up with -4, 3? Did I switch them? Did I change the signs? Which points did I switch? Which point did I change the sign? Which number did I change the sign for? Okay, so now we have point P prime. Let's rotate it 90 degrees again. Let's rotate it 90 degrees a second time. So this time we're going to end up in the third quadrant. Okay, so when we rotate this point 90 degrees, we're going to create this 90-degree angle. Now these two purple lines are going to be perpendicular. So if the slope of this purple line is -3/4, then that means the slope of this purple line is going to be the opposite reciprocal. It's going to be +4/3. Which makes sense because this is one big line, one continuous line, so the slope of the bottom part of that line, the slope of the top part of the line should be the same. So this point is in the third quadrant. We're going -3 to the left and then down -4. So this puts us at -3, -4. And I'm going to call this point P double prime because I've done a second transformation to point P. So P is the original, P prime is after one transformation, P double prime is after the second transformation. So again, think about how we went from P to P prime. What did we do at this point? We switched it, the 4 went to the front, and then it became negative. So we're going to do the same thing to get from P prime to P double prime. We're going to switch our coordinates, so we're going to send the 3 to the front, and then we're going to make it negative. Okay, and we're going to do it one more time. I'm going to take point P double prime and rotate it 90 more degrees counterclockwise. So right now point P double prime is in the third quadrant. When I rotate it 90 degrees, it's going to end up in the fourth quadrant. The slope of this blue line was 4/3. So the slope of this other blue line is going to be the opposite reciprocal, which is negative 3/4. So from the origin down 1, 2, 3 over 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 puts us at 4, negative 3, and this is P triple prime because that's the third rotation, that's the third transformation. And again, let's compare. How do we get from P double prime to P triple prime? Well, to get from P double prime to P triple prime, we're going to switch them, put the y coordinate in the front, send the negative 4 to the front, and then change the sign. So it went from negative 4 in the back to positive 4 in the front. And then let's think, if we were going to rotate it one more time, 90 more degrees to get back to where we started, if we switched them, sent the y coordinate to the front, so the y coordinate becomes my x coordinate, I'm sending the negative 3 to the front, and then I change the sign, I'm going to end up back at P. So the big idea is I'm rotating 90 degrees, then a second time. So to get from P directly to P double prime, that would be a 180 degree rotation. And then to get from P to P triple prime, 1, 2, 3, that's 270 degrees. These are just multiples of 90 degrees. So later you're going to learn different rules for rotating by 90 degrees, 180 degrees, and 270 degrees. But really all that's happening is we are doing one 90 degree rotation after the other. If you're rotating 90 degrees, you're only using that 90 degree rotation once. If you're rotating 180 degrees, you're just rotating by 90 degrees twice. You rotate by 90 degrees and then you rotate it by 90 degrees again. If you're doing a 270 rotation, you're just rotating by 93 times. Rotate 90 once, rotate 90 twice, rotate 90 a third time. So if all else fails, if you're like, am I totally freaking out, I don't remember the rules, as long as you know the rule for rotating 90 degrees, you're good, because you're just going to rotate by 90 and then 90 and then 90, and you can even get back to where you started.